Paramatmane Namaham. Namaste devotees and Jai Sita Ram. I'd like to welcome each and every one of you to our regular Sunday morning satsang this beautiful February 7th, 2021. Before we commence with our puja for today, devotees, I ask that you all join together with me as we sing this beautiful bhajan, as we all welcome to Mandir. स्वागत समझन इस मंदिर हो भक्ति की स्वाति की धार सुंदर सुमधुर गान हमारो रंजन सब नर नार ईश सगुण निरगुण विनाशी मात पिता रारु यार ईश सगुण निरगुण विनाशी मात पिता रारु यार तोर माए हम वास्त सदाही तोर भाई हम वास्त सदाही तार हमें संसार स्वागत समझन इस मंदिर हो भक्ति की स्वाति की डार सुंदर सुमधुर गान हमारो रंजन सब नर नार तीर्थ माया मोद लगावे पुण्य यहाँ पर सार तीर्थ माया मोद लगावे पुण्य यहाँ पर सार संगति संतन नीम चलावे संगति संतन नीम चलावे शोभन सब व्यवहार स्वागत समझन इस मंदिर हो भक्ति की स्वाति की धार सुंदर सुमधुर गान हमार रंजन सब नर नार रंजन सब नर नार रंजन सब नर नार. At this time, devotees, I ask that we all join together. And in our regular fashion, devotees, make sure you're sitting in a very comfortable and relaxed position. Take some time to take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, drop your shoulders, straighten your spine. Go ahead and clasp your hands and close your eyes. Focus on your breathing. And take some time to focus all of your energy on a form of Bhagwan that is most pleasing to you. And join together with me as we chant our opening prayers. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Ishavasyam Midam Sarvam Yatkincha Jagatyam Jagam Enityaktena Bhunjeta Magrudha Khasya Swidhanam Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahe Hari Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. As you continue to focus your minds on that form of Bhagwan that is most pleasing you devotees, I ask that you join together with me as we chant the most powerful Gayatri Mantra. Om Adakshe Varade Devi Akshare Brahmavarini Gayatri Jagat Madhar Vishwayoni Namostute Om Bhore Bhuvaswaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Om Bhore Bhuvaswaha Tatsaviturvarenyam
भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। हरि ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम प्रेम से बोलो गायत्री माता की जय।
As we continue on with our prayers for today, devotees, I ask that we all join together as we offer prayers to that remover of all obstacles, spiritual, mental, physical, emotional obstacles in our life, as we offer prayers to Lord Ganesh.
Om Shri Ganapate Namaha. Om Yajnanam Bhutaghanadi Sevitam Kapita Jambu Palachara Bhakshanam Om Asutam Shoka Vinashakarakam Namami Vigneshwara Pada Pankajam Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirviganam Kurme Deva Sarvakarishu Sarvada Om Raksha Raksha Ganadhaksha Raksha Trilokya Rakshakar Bhaktanam Bhayam Karta Trata Bhava Bhavaranavat. Om Shriman Mahaganadipate Namah. Prem se bolo Ganesh Bhagwan ki jai.
As we continue on with our prayers, devotees, we offer obediences to that universal mother and that destroyer of all evils in our life. We join together as we offer prayers to Adi Shakti Durga Mata.
Om Mahadurgaye Namah. Om Jayanti Mangala Kali Bhandra Kali Kapalini Durgakshama Shiva Dhatri Swaha Swadha Namostute. Jai Tvam Devi Chamunde Jai Putarte Nihardani Jai Sarvagate Devi Kaleratre Namostute Adevi Sarvabhuteshu Vishnu Mae Vishamnitha Namastasye 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 Namo Namaya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Buddhi-rupena samstita Namastasye 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 Namo Namaya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Lakshmi-rupena samstita Namastasye 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 Namo Namaya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shakti-rupena samstita Namastasye 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 Namo Namaya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shraddha-rupena samstita Namastasye 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 Namo Namaya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shanti-rupena samstita Namastasye 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 Namo Namaya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Tushti-rupena samstita Namastasye 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 Namo Namaya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Daya-rupena samstita Namastasye 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 Namo Namah. As we pray, we say, O Durga Mata, Thou art the supporter of all, and we, your children, worship you in your many forms. O Ma, we see you as Buddhi, wisdom, Lakshmi, prosperity, Shakti, energy, Shraddha, faith, Shanti, peace, Tushti, contentment, and Daya, compassion. And as we pray to you, Ma, Namastasye, 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 Namo Namaha. As we pray to you, we bow to thee again and again. Devotees, we continue to offer prayers to Mother Durga in the form of the Universal Mother, Matri Rupa. Devi Sarvabhuteshu Matri Rupena Samstitha Namastasye 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 Namo Namah. Dehi Saubhagyam Arogyam Dehi Me Paramam Sukham Rupam Nehi Jayam Nehi यशोदेव शोजये ओम प्रेम स्वरवारी शक्ति दुर्गा माता की जय.
Devotees, I ask that you all join together with me now as we offer prayers to the most influential beings in our life. As we offer prayers to the Navgraha Devata.
Om Navgraha Devataya Namaha. Brahma Mudhari Tripura Tahari Bhanu Shashi Bhumi Sutom Budhascha Guruscha Shukra Shanirahu Ketu Sarvengraha Shanti Kara Bhavantu Sarvengraha Shanti Kara Bhavantu.
As we continue to offer our prayers, devotees, we offer prayers to that being that exists in this universe in the form of the sun. We offer praise to Surya Narayana.
Om Suryaya Namaha 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 Anireva Namaskubhyam Prasidha Mama Bhashkaram Divakara Namaskubhyam Prabhakara Namostute Suryaya Namaha Suryaya Namaha Suryaya Namaha Suryaya Namaha. Om Prem Bolo Navgraha Devata ki jai. Prem Bolo Surya Narayan Bhagavan ki jai.
I ask that you join together with me, devotees, as we offer prayers to that sustainer of all things dharmic, all things righteous in this universe. As we offer prayers to Lord Vishnu.
Om Shri Vishnu Namaha. Om Nishvatakaram Bhujagashayana Padmanabham Suresham Vishwadharam Gagan Sadrisham Meghavarnam Shumangam Om Lakshmi Kantam Kamalnayanam Yogvira Dhyana Gamyam Vande Vishnu Bhavamaya Haram Sarvaloki Kanatam Om Sashanka Chakram Sakiritha Kundhalam Sapita Vastram Sarasiruhekshanam Sahara Vakshastala Shubhikostum Bhashriyam Namami Vishnu Shirasa Chaturbhujam Namami Vishnu Shirasa Chaturbhujam Om Prem Sabur Vishnu Bhagwan ki jai.
And finally, devotees, I ask that we join together now as we offer prayers to that universal Father and that universal Guru. As we offer prayers to that destroyer of all evils in our life and in this universe. As we offer prayers to Lord Shiva.
Om Namaha Shivaya. Om Namaha Shivaya. Om Namaha Shivaya. Om Harapurha Ghaurang Karunavataram Samsar Saram Bhujagendraharam Saravasantam Hirdayardavinde Bhavam Bhavani Sahitam Namami Bhavam Bhavani Sahitam Namami. Om Namaha Shivaya.
As we join together, devotees, and we chant.
Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya.
And finally, devotees, we offer this next prayer for all those suffering from various illnesses, diseases, injuries, and ailments. We ask them to have a fast, speedy, and full recovery. We also offer a prayer for those transitioning from this world to the next. May their passage be a smooth and tranquil one.
Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Mrityurmuksyo Mamrutat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Mrityurmuksyo Mamrutat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Mrityurmuksyo Mamrutat. Om Ganganapate Namaha. Om Kartike Namaha. Om Nandishwaraya Namaha. Om Vasukiye Namaha. Om Shri Samba Sadha Shivaya Namaha. Prem se bolo Shiva Shankar Bhagwan ki jai.
And devotees, before we continue on with our sermon for today, we will have a few bhajans. Couple.
Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya.
Hari Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah
Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Rameshwaraya. Hari Om Rameshwaraya.
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 Om Rameshwaraya. Hari Om
Rameshwaraya. Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om
Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Gangadharaya. Hari Om Gangadharaya.
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 Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Jatadharaya. Hari Om Jatadharaya.
Om Jatanaraya. Hari Om Jatanaraya.
Om Jatadharaya. Hari Om Jatadharaya.
Om Jatanaraya. Hari Om Jatanaraya.
Om Jatadharaya. Hari Om Jatadharaya.
Om Jatanaraya. Hari Om Jatanaraya.
Jatadharaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Someshwaraya. Hari Om Someshwaraya.
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 Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya.
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 Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya.
Devotees, before we commence with our sermon for today, I ask that we all join together. And for those of us who have a guru, I ask that we join together and we offer a prayer to our guru. If not, I ask that you take the day with of your pleasing in your mind and worship them as your universal guru, as we join together in prayer.
Om Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha, Prem se Gurudev ki jai. Shri Krishna Sharanam Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna 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 Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Devotees, last week when we had worked on our sermon, we were in chapter 11 of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And at the very beginning of that chapter, Arjuna asks Bhagwan Shri Krishna, "O Bhagwan Krishna, please allow me to see your true form. That all-pervading form, that form which is unmanifest, that form that normal humans can't see." And of course, Bhagwan Shri Krishna said, "Of course, I will bless you with divine eyes, and I will let you see this true form." He then reveals his true form to Arjuna, in which Arjuna sees an immense figure, infinitely vast, infinite amounts of eyes, arms, legs, a great all-pervading power that not only inspired him and struck him with awe, but filled him with fear as well. And so in the last turn, Arjuna was explaining to Bhagwan Shri Krishna, this is exactly how I felt, this is exactly what I saw. And at the very end, devotees, on verse 20 when we ended, Arjuna says to Bhagwan Shri Krishna very specifically,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Yava Prithivoridam Antaram Hi Vyaptam Tavyakena Nisastra Sarva Dristvan Bhutam Rupam Ugram Togram Lokatrayam Pravyati Mahatman Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
He ended on verse 20 by saying to Bhagwan Shri Krishna, "You alone pervade all directions in all space between earth and the heavens. O Mahatman, seeing this wonderful and terrible form of yours, all the inhabitants of the three worlds are becoming afflicted with fear." So he asks to see the form of Bhagwan Shri Krishna, and he sees the form of Bhagwan Shri Krishna, and he describes it with two words in verse 20. One of the words is very unsuspecting. One of the ones is what I probably thought I would see if I were to see God. Wondrous. Your wondrous form. But then he also uses another word, which is the complete antithesis of wondrous. He uses the word terrible. So your form is not only wondrous, it's also terrible. It's terrifying. It's making me become afflicted with fear. And why is that, devotees? Why is it wondrous, but also fearful as well? You see this in a lot of the great superhero shows of this time. Oh, you're raising your hand? Do you have an answer? Because he's what? He is joy and fear. He's all emotions. Yes, he's everything. He's everywhere. You see this in a lot of great superhero shows. Very good, Tejas. You see this in a lot of superhero shows a lot of times, where the up-and-coming hero is trying to do something, to save the universe, save the planet, save their home, whatever it may be. And they encounter somebody who is extremely powerful. And they're awed at their power, yet at the same time, they're fearing of their power. They fear because they know that person has something they do not. They have something that they may never have. And that power although great, causes you fear because you feel it may destroy you. It may overcome you. So what Arjuna has seen in this instance is a form so great and so powerful that not only is it wondrous to him, but it's also terrifying him. He, as a great warrior, knows that this is a form that he could never overcome. But it's a form that he has to achieve. It's a form that he has to be a part of. He goes on to tell Bhagavan Shri Krishna more about what's going through his mind, about the true form of Bhagavan Shri Krishna. He says so elegantly, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Ami hitva sura samgha besanti kenjin bita panjairo grinnanti swasti yuktva mahar siddha samgha stuvanti tom stuti me puskalabi rudraditya vasabhuye chatsarya visvesvino maruta kusma pascha Gandharvayaktasura siddhaskambhya Viksante tom vismitascha sarve Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. He further tells Bhagavan Shri Krishna that the host of the Devas are taking shelter, your shelter, by entering into you. Out of fear, some are eulogizing you with fooled hands. The great sages and the siddhas are gazing upon you while chanting auspicious Vedic hymns, offering many prayers and praising you profusely. The 11 Rudras, the 12 Adityas, the 8 Vasus, the Sadhya Devas, the Viswadevas, the 2 Aswani Kumaras, the Marutas, the Pitras, the Gandharvas, the Yaksas, the Asuras, and the Siddhas are all beholding you with wonder. So everyone, everything, everywhere is taking shelter within you. One part here says, out of fear, some are eulogizing you with folded hands. Out of fear, some are eulogizing you with folded hands. Everybody is gazing upon you. So he talks about the sages and the siddhas, saying that they are chanting auspiciously and trying to achieve your form. But then I was very interested in this verse, in verse 21, where he says, out of fear, some are eulogizing you with folded hands. Out of fear. Sometimes in life, when we are trying to achieve something, or when we're attaining something, or when we're following someone, we're doing it out of fear. We're doing something out of fear. We do something out of fear because we're afraid that something may get lost, something may get ruined, or we maybe get judged upon. The instance that I like to think about in this situation is something along the lines that we call, and a lot of kids experience it, a lot of adults experience it too, we just don't talk about it that often because we try to normalize it when we get older, and that's called peer pressure. Peer pressure. Peer pressure is the fear of you being thought in one way, shape, or form of other people who are trying to tell you to do something that goes against your beliefs or your morals. Kids go through this all the time. You see bullies try to get kids to do things that they don't want to do, things that they don't think are right. And then the kid, fearful of what the bully may do or what their peers may think, succumb to what's going on and they do that. When I say as adults we normalize that, we normalize it because we don't call it peer pressure anymore. We just say, oh, that's life. That's what it's like to live. You go to work and your boss tells you there's this sum of money that I want you to transfer from this account to this one. Don't tell anybody about it. Don't put it on the books. Just do it. Just do it by my command, my heed. And so you as an adult will do that. You are pressured to do something that you don't want to do, but what are you scared of? What are you afraid of at that point in time? That your boss is going to fire you. That you're going to lose your job. That your livelihood is going to be gone and you won't be able to support everything that your family has. So out of fear, sometimes we do something. Now, when it says here, out of fear, some are eulogizing you with folded hands. Some people are scared that they will not achieve Bhagwan. So out of fear, they worship Bhagwan because they're scared of what's going to happen to their soul in the next life. Out of fear. No. No. No, Serena asked if I was calling God a bully. I'm not calling God a bully. I'm not calling God a bully. I'm saying out of fear for what's going to happen to somebody's soul, what they think is going to happen to them in the next life, they sit down and they try to worship. And sometimes that worship that they have is false. Because are they thinking about Bhagwan in that point in time? No. They're thinking of the consequences. They're out of fear. It took me a long time to understand this, but out of fear of what's going to happen to them, they're worshiping Bhagwan, and therefore they're not giving everything to Bhagwan. So he uses two opposites. Those who are great sages, who just worship Bhagwan to worship Bhagwan, and then those who worship Bhagwan out of fear because they're scared of what's going to happen to them in the next life. Because they're scared of that uncertainty. They're not being bullied into it. I'm just saying sometimes we do things out of fear because of that. So he's saying that everything exists within you. I noticed that. You're infinite. All the Rudras, all the Adityas, even the Asuras. All things good, all things bad, I see them reside in you. You are everything and you are all pervading. But he goes on to say even further, devotees. He goes on to say even further. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Rupam Mahate Bahu Vakra Netram Maha Bahu Rupadam Bahu Dharam Bahudam Strakaralam Drishtva Lokra Prayitrataham Nabhasprasam Diptam Anekharvaranam Vyatan Anam Dipta Visalanetram Drishtva Hitam Prayatitam Tarat Madritim Vinami Samam Sha Vishnu Tamstra Karalani Chete Mukhani Drishtva Kalanala Samnibhani Nisona Janenala Mecha Sarma Prasidhane Vasa Jagannivasa Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
As I was reading through these verses, devotees, and before I describe to you exactly what Arjuna says in verses 23, 24, and 25, I can understand the emotions that Arjuna is going through right now. Usually what happens when somebody is flustered or when they're scared? One of two things tend to happen when somebody's flustered or they're scared. They either tend to shut down and they don't say anything, or they ramble, they go on, they say a lot of words at one time. I'm one of those people who tends to say a lot of words at one time when I get flustered. It's what happens. It's just who I am. And in some instances, I'll shut down. I won't say anything. So if you read all of these verses, where did we start? Verses 15 through 31. And you try to sing these verses, you won't get a chance to breathe. Because these verses are so long that they're so difficult to fit into one verse of a song. Because Bhagwan Shri Krishna was so great in the eyes of Arjuna that he's just going on and saying everything that he noticed. In verse 23 he says, O Mahabahu, on seeing your gigantic form with its unlimited mouths, countless eyes, and innumerable arms, thighs, feet, bellies, and many fearsome teeth, everyone including me is becoming terrified. It is such a power that we cannot fathom it, that we are becoming scared. O Vishnu, seeing your blazing, multicolored form pervade the sky with your great fiery eyes and vast, wide open mouths, my mind is overpowered by fear, and I am not feeling steady or at peace. Seeing all those dreadful mouths, full of fearsome teeth and blazing like the fire of annihilation, I am unable to ascertain where the four directions are, or feel any kin fog happiness. O Lord of the Devas, O shelter of the universe, kindly be merciful to me. Bhagwan is here, Bhagwan is there, Bhagwan is everywhere. In this world that we live in, this physical world, he is the manifestation of physical objects and the manifestation of emotions that we experience. So what Arjuna saw at this point in time was a form so great and so powerful, he thought, this is what I have to achieve. And not only is it wonderful, well, not only is it amazing, it's intimidating. It frightens me because I see so many good things, but I also see so many things that I feel are terrifying. If you encountered a being that had multiple faces and multiple arms and sharp razor teeth, how would you react in that situation? Yeah, Aishwarya is kind of doing this frightening face. You'd be terrified. I'd be terrified. I see a snake slithering on the ground. I can't even see its teeth, and I'm terrified. So you see this great, immense form that is so hard to fathom. And Arjuna is saying, I'm terrified because I see so many good things, but I see so many things that terrify me, things that I would never see here on earth. Yeah, I may see a demon or two, potentially, but I've never seen a form as great as yours. Now, pausing here before we move on. There's a lot of things that we have to attempt in life that are going to be very intimidating. There's a lot of things that we have to do. Sometimes we're overcome with something called stage fright. And even though it may not be something that you're performing, whatever you're about to do seems so big, so vast. It's filled with so many razor-sharp teeth, and it feels so infinite. It seems like a giant mountain that you have to overcome and paralyzes us with fear. And then what happens to us in that situation? We stop what we're doing. We don't want to do it anymore. It's easier to walk away than it is to tackle that task. So in this case, Arjuna is seeing Bhagwan Shri Krishna for who he truly is. This great, powerful form that's also very fearsome to him. But because he's afraid of it, should he walk away? Should he attempt not to achieve it? Absolutely not. The same is true in life. If there's ever something that you want to do, you want to attain, that fear is going to be there. And I want to say to anybody who's watching that nerves, to have fear, to have those emotions, that is to have a healthy mind. I'm not saying if you don't have fear, you're not healthy. It just means you've overcome in a different way. But we're only human. Don't ever let that fear stop you from attaining your goals. If you're going to be performing a solo at a concert, you go up and you rock that stage. If you have to sit down in front of a camera and perform a sermon, you speak your heart out. If you have to learn how to drive, take a deep breath in, deep breath out, or exhale. Take your time. Focus on the road. No matter what you're doing, don't let the fear overcome you and stop you from doing it. Don't let what somebody told you months ago stop you from doing it today. Because everybody has a difference of opinion. Everybody has a difference of thought. But you should not let that inhibit you from living in this world. So here, we're seeing that there's this great form that Arjuna, a great warrior, which I don't think any of us could compare to, is scared of. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't achieve it. He's saying, I'm seeing all this stuff, Bhagwan Shri Krishna. I see your greatness, but I'm terrified of it at the same time. I'm terrified of it. Now, when we see forms of Bhagwan, you'll see things like, and you can't really see some of these pictures that I'm looking at. They're very pleasing pictures. They're very nice to look at. Very nice to look at. But imagine somebody draws this form of Bhagwan that has multiple faces, multiple arms, multiple eyes, razor-sharp teeth. Does that bring you with solace? Does that bring you at peace? No. It can terrify some of us. Some of us as children have seen those photos. Yes, we get terrified of them. So the beings that we worship, we say are formless. They're in the unmanifest. Because they exist as anything and everything. Things that we love, things that we enjoy, but things that we hate and things that we fear. That doesn't stop us. That shouldn't stop us from achieving them. So he says, I see all these things. It's great, it's powerful, but it's also terrifying, Bhagwan. As I was looking into your image, he says in verses 26 and 27, as I was looking into that image of you, I saw a glimpse of this battle. I saw a glimpse of the future. And this is what I saw, Bhagwan Shri Krishna. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Ami Chatvam Dhritarashtrasya Putraha Sarve Sahayavani Palasamgai Bhismodhvana Sutaputrastata Sahasmareyar Apeyo Bhamukye
Vaktrani te Ramana Visanti Dhamstra Karalani Bhayanakani Kechin Dasanantaresu Samdrisyante Churnater Utamanje Yata Nadhina Mahavamu Vega Samdram Eva Bhimupandраvanti Tattva Lokavira Visanti Vaktrayan Abhivijalanti Yatha Pradiptam Cholam Tattam Ya Visanti Nasaya Sambhavega Tattaiva Nasaya Visanti Lokastavapi Makrani Sladhavenga Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama
Liluyasse Grasa Manasamantan Lokan Samagran Vadhan Jwalan Vihi Tejhum Hir Apurya Hagat Samangram Basa Vungra Pratapanti Vishnu Akaya Hime Bhavan Ugra Rupanamo Studevo Var Prasidha Vichnatu Vichchami Bhavantam Adyam Nahi Prajhanamitavam Pravritkim Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. A good number of verses, devotees. But what Bhagwan Shri Krishna is being told by Arjuna in these verses is that all the sons of all the great kings, along with their allied host of kings, Bhishma, Drona, Karna, as well as the leading warriors on our side, are rushing towards you with great speed and entering your cave-like mouths, which are filled with frightful teeth. Some are also trapped there with their heads crushed between those teeth. All these great heroes are entering your blazing mouth, just as the waves of the river rush impetuously towards the ocean. As the mouth rushes into blazing fire and perishes, so too are those warriors entering your mouths with great speed, only to die. O Vishnu, with your fiery tongues you are licking up the host of living beings on all sides and devouring them with your blazing mouths. You are scorching the entire universe with your fierce and all-pervading rays of your effulgence. So he sees an image of what's about to come, what's about to happen. Remember that Arjuna is sitting in the middle of a battlefield between two great armies. So what does he see at this point? He sees these two great armies getting ready to clash. He sees two great armies getting ready to clash. And how does he see these two armies clashing? How does he see it? He describes it as them being consumed by Bhagwan. As these great kings and warriors rushing into the mouth of this great form and being annihilated. So it's symbolic here. It's a very terrifying image to think about. It's a very terrifying way that Bhagwan Shri Krishna has described everything here. He's saying that you're rushing into the mouth of Bhagwan, being crushed by these razor-sharp teeth. But there's an alternate meaning to all of this, devotees. At the very beginning of all this, Arjuna is very concerned about this war that he's about to fight with all of these people. He's very concerned about what's going to happen to their lives. And even though he sees this image, this very terrifying image of them being consumed by Bhagwan, of them being annihilated in that form, what is happening to them at the same time? Anybody? What happens when you eat some food? Where does it go? In your stomach. And is that food one with you? For a little bit of time, potentially. It's very hard to understand these next few verses because of how they're written. Because they're written to make it seem like terrifying things are happening to these soldiers. But what's happening is even though they're battling into this fierce war, they're performing their duties and their actions that they were meant to on this earth. And eventually, at some point, even though it seems it's very terrifying as to how they're getting consumed, they're becoming one with Bhagwan. Very terrifying image. I would like to think of myself when I pass from this world to the next being swaddled up into the heart of Bhagwan, not being consumed in the mouth. But that's the image that he saw. He saw a glimpse of the future. Is war pretty?
Does war look good? No. I can tell you by the number of movies I've seen. Any war movie you've seen, it's never going to look pretty. But what ultimately Bhagwan is showing Arjuna is that the actions we take bring us to the next life in some way, shape, or form. My form in this next universe, this next life, and this unmanifest is not something that you're going to comprehend. It's going to be everything that you enjoy and everything that you're scared of. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't try to achieve me. Because even though you see the fearful, by time you reach this unmanifest state, by time you achieve moksha and become one with me, all things good will come to you. So at the very end of all this, of course, Arjuna sees Bhagavan Shri Krishna. He says, I've seen all of these things, Bhagavan Shri Krishna. You're great, but you're also terrifying. I've seen glimpses of the future. He says, Oh, Devavara, best among Bhagwans, best among gods, I offer my obediences unto you. Kindly be gracious to me and tell me who you are in this ferocious form. I very much want to know you, the primeval cause, because I do not comprehend your activities. I see everything that's great, but I see something that scares me. Describe to me more. Why should I not be afraid of this? We started to touch on that in this sermon. So of course, Bhagwan Shri Krishna smiles. He smiles because he doesn't want Arjuna to be afraid. But he goes on to tell Arjuna a little bit more and answer his question. He says to Arjuna, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
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 Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Bhagavan Uvacha, Alosmi Lokaksaya Kritam Pravidho Lokan Samaharutam Iha Praritha Itpitvanam Bhavisyanti Sarve Devastita Pratyaneki Suyodha. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
So again, Arjuna says, tell me who you are in your ferocious form. I need to know. I need to know more about this primeval form of yours. I need to know more about you. So Bhagwan Shri Krishna smiles. He looks at Arjuna and he says something that we'll talk about, devotees, in our next Sunday morning satsang next week. Prem se Bolo Krishna Chandra Bhagwan ki Jai. At this time, devotees, before we have our closing prayers, we'll have one more bhajan. Slideshow?
हे प्रभु आनंद दाता, ज्ञान हमको दीजिए, शीघ्र सारे दुर्गुणों को दूर हमसे कीजिए। हे प्रभु आनंद दाता, ज्ञान हमको दीजिए, शीघ्र सारे दुर्गुणों को दूर हमसे कीजिए। हे प्रभु आनंद दाता। लीजिए हमको शरण धर्म रक्षक वीर व्रतधारी बने। शांति चाहक धर्म रक्षक वीर व्रतधारी बने। हे प्रभु आनंद दाता। प्रेम से हम गुरुजनों की नित्य ही सेवा करें। प्रेम से हम गुरुजनों की नित्य ही सेवा करें। सत्य बोले झूठ त्यागे मेह आपस में करे। सत्य बोले झूठ त्यागे मेह आपस में करे। हे प्रभु आनंद दाता। नींद किसी के हम किसी से भूल कर भी ना करें। नींद किसी के हम किसी से भूल कर भी ना करें। दिव्य जीवन हो हमारा तेरे यश गाया करें। दिव्य जीवन हो हमारा तेरे यश गाया करें। हे प्रभु आनंद दाता। ज्ञान हमको दीजिए। शीघ्र सारे दुर्गुणों को दूर हमसे कीजिए। हे प्रभु आनंद दाता।
At this time, devotees, I ask that you all join together with me. Go ahead and sit in a very relaxed position. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, drop your shoulders, relax your body. Clasp your hand and close your eyes, and take this time to focus on the form of Bhagwan that is most pleasing to you. And join together with me as we chant these closing prayers. Om Sarvesham Swasti Bhavatu, Sarvesham Shanti Bhavatu, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Om Sarve Sukhino Bhavantu, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschit Dukhabhag Bhavet. Om Mantrahinam Kriyahinam Bhaktihinam Janardanam Yatya Pujitam Maya Neva Paripurnam Dharastu Me. Papoham Papu Karmaham Papu Atma Papu Sambhuvam
त्राहिमं पुण्डरीकाक्षं सर्वपापो हरो हरि ॐ त्वमेव मातश्च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव ॐ असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्युमामृतं गमय हरि ओं शान्ति 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 हरि ओं गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरा गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः ॐ शान्ति अन्तरिक्षं शान्ति पृथिवी शान्तिरापा शान्तिर् औषधेय शान्तिर्वनस्पति शान्तिर् विश्वदेव शान्तिर्ब्रह्मा शान्तिर् सर्वगुं शान्तिर् शान्तिरेव शान्ति सामा शान्तिरेधि हरि ओं शान्ति शांति शांति हरि ओम तत्सत। प्रेम से बोलो गणेश भगवान की जय। प्रेम से बोलो आदि शक्ति दुर्गा माता की जय। प्रेम से बोलो विष्णु भगवान की जय। प्रेम से बोलो शिव शंकर भगवान की जय। प्रेम से बोलो शिव शक्ति मंदिर की जय। प्रेम से बोलो सनातन धर्म की जय। Devotees, with this we have come to the end of our Sunday morning satsang, and I'd like to thank each and every one of you for being here today. Just as a quick announcement on my end, the one thing I'd like to say is that we do have calendars ready for everybody for pickup. If you would like to get a calendar for this year and you have some time, if you want to stop by the mandir, they are located outside of the temple inside of a plastic container. Now, I will mention, devotees, that this container is being held down with a few weights, I think. So if you go to get a calendar, go and grab your calendar and put those weights back on the box, because we don't want that box flying away because of the wind or anything. So you are more than welcome to head to the mandir and go pick up a calendar. But again, my ask is that after you get your calendar, place those weights back onto the box so we don't lose that box to the wind or to any forces of Bhagwan or nature that may come towards the mandir. With that being said, devotees, I want to thank you all for tuning in with us either live today during a regular Sunday morning satsang or for watching in the future. And at this point, I'll hand the microphone over to our president for a few more announcements.
Sita Ram, devotees. It's been a while since I reach out and speak to all of you. I hope you and your family are all doing well. COVID-19 is lexicon in our daily discourse that is not going away. I will continue to urge each and every one of you to please exercise all safety precaution. I know COVID-19 have affected some of our community members. We felt it firsthand here in my family, where members of our family were also affected. We have a member in the community who has lost a loved one to this virus. So it's a very deadly virus. I'll urge you to continue to take this virus seriously and follow the CDC guideline in protecting yourself, your loved ones, your family, your friends, and please exercise all safety precaution. For all our family members and friends up north, we're there with you as you dig out of this significant storm that hit all of you over the past several days. We here in Atlanta felt it a little bit. I will tell you, Monday when I took Destiny for a walk, instead of doing our normal routine in 10 minutes, we had to cut our walk and run back to the car. So we understand the pressure you're under to stay warm and to protect your family and dig out under the snow. I spoke to our daughter, Sue, and she and her husband were still trying to find their car 3 days later under the snowbank. So we wish you all safe, and we wish you all safe health, and hopefully this you're not impacted by another snowstorm over this weekend. So take care of yourself. I want to also thank each and every one of you who continue to support us. To my surprise, there were a number of you who sent a donation to my home address for your mandir. We thank you very much. We thank you for thinking of your mandir, for considering your mandir, and continuing to support your mandir. Your donation was given to our Assistant Treasurer, Ms. Sharda Prasad. to dispose of accordingly. And Sharda will also be sending calendars to some of you. If she haven't already mailed it, she probably will do that this week. So if you are unable to get to the Mandir to get a calendar, please reach out to Sharda Prasad, and she will most certainly mail one to you. And I want to thank Shivani and Nirvani, who are spearheading the mailing of these calendars to various members who have reached out to us. I want to give a special shout out to a family member of ours, Nidra Nephew, who is residing in Chicago, and his lovely wife, Rishi and Stephanie. Rishi and Stephanie will be moving to the other side of the world for a new post. So Rishi and Stephanie, I know you guys have been watching and following our Sunday morning virtual service. We wish you safe travel. We will miss both of you, and we want you to be safe out there and enjoy the other side of the world during your posting for the next couple of years. So take care and stay in touch. And remember, you will have to come back to America to visit with us here. And last but not least, this week here was a special day for my family especially. So I want to wish our Panditji and our youngest child, Avi Biodari, Pandit Avi Biodari, happy birthday. Yesterday, he and his lovely wife, our daughter-in-law Serena, came to visit with us here, and thus we're doing service at our home. I want to say thanks to his brother, his older brother, who made one, I think, of the best tasting birthday cake that I have ever tasted. So Mo, thank you very much, and Avi, Pandit Avi, happy birthday. We love you, and we wish you all the joys in life and continued happiness and continued success in what you're doing in serving your community and especially our Mandir. So with that, family,
Sorry, I want to interrupt really quickly. I'd be remiss in saying, and I forgot to say, today actually, February 7th is a very special day for my grandparent-in-laws. So to Chelia and Saras Naidu, they are celebrating their 67th wedding anniversary today. 67.
Wow, let's give them a round of applause.
To you
67.
both, we here, Serena and I, our family, and the executive board and the Shiv Shakti Mandir would like to wish you both a very, very wonderful and happy anniversary.
So once again, devotees, please stay safe out there. We thank you for your continued support, and please reach out to each other and have a conversation. Check on each other mental wellness. Thank you all very much. Jai Sita Ram.